Yo, 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 it's your girl and boy CT. I'm Cindy Barnes.
And I'm Travis Barnes.
And we are the founders of the Overcomers Podcast.
The Overcomers Podcast is designed to help you overcome adversity and live your dreams. Every week we will be sharing stories of people who found their strength in their struggle. The Overcomers Podcast is sponsored by Journey 333, and that's a lot of threes, so let me tell you what it is. It's fitness, coaching, and nutrition. It is a place where we help you to look better, live better, and feel better, and it is mind, body, spirit. Today, we're going to help you get your mind right with our special guest. Hello, Overcomer Nation. Hey, do we have a surprise for you this week? Have you heard of a takeover? Well, this week, the Overcomers Podcast is being taken over by Jesse Buck. Jesse Buck will interview Andrew Wales, and he will interview Kelsey Burbank, who have one thing in common. They both went into diabetic remission as a result of their exercise and nutritional programming at Journey. We are so excited to share their success. So if you know someone that you would like to help kick the meds, or you'd like to kick the meds yourself, you better listen to this episode.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. My name is Jesse Buck. I'm here at Journey Fitness, and we are so excited to have Kelsey Burbank with us today. Ever since we met her, she has just been a big boost of energy. She's been an inspiration to everybody else who comes here, and she really just embodies everything that we're about, our fitness community, and she's had some incredible success on her journey, on her own path that she even started on her own. She came to us after she had done quite a bit already by herself, and I think it's going to serve as an inspiration to a lot of others out there who maybe are on the fence or are having a hard time. They're struggling with getting going. Her story is pretty inspirational, and what she's been able to do is incredible. And I can't wait for you to get to learn a little bit about her today. Kelsey, once again, thank you so much for being here and taking some time out of your day to chat with us and just talk to us about your journey and hopefully inspire some others to take the same steps that you have. Would you mind just giving us a little bit of an introduction to who you are, where you're from?
So I am Kelsey. I work as a Head Start teacher in Owego. I also work over at Elderwood Nursing Home. I'm 28 and I just was put in diabetic remission.
That is incredible. And can you tell us, when did you start here at Journey? Because that's when we first met you here. So about how long have you been coming here to Journey?
So I've been coming to Journey since about mid-March. So quite a while now, like 6 months, I think, almost 6 months.
Yeah, I think it's exactly 6 months. Jordan and I still remember the first time you came in. So Kelsey came in for the Spring into Fitness Challenge with a whole group of really fun people. And I remember because I did her orientation, and afterwards she stuck around and she has become a staple member here, inspiration to other people. And she's one of the people that if we have a new member come in who seems a little bit nervous, we kind of put them over in Kelsey's group because we know that they're just going to have a good time there. They'll feel comfortable and be motivated. She's just that personality. You want to be around her, and she gives off a great energy. What I'd really like to dive into and begin with is kind of your story before you started this weight loss journey, even on your own or anything. Can you just give us some insight to where you were at beforehand, and then what got you started and what really got you into going all in?
A lot of it was my mom. Like for a long time, she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So she kind of started to watch what she was eating. She started to take walks every night. She was, for a while, able to walk like 5 miles a night. So she kind of got me started into wanting to lose weight myself. And then for a while, I was half doing it. I wasn't really doing it though. And then in November of 2020, I started to have some health issues and I ended up in the emergency room. So it kind of like scares you straight.
Right.
So I met with my doctor and we did a whole bunch of tests, and I found out I was high blood pressure, I was vitamin D deficient, and then I actually was type 2 diabetic. And then of course you hear the word diabetes and then all those things like go through your head, what could go wrong. My grandfather was diabetic and I have a phobia of needles, so the first thing I thought was I didn't want to have to take insulin for the rest of my life. And after that, you just kind of have to do it. And type 2, you can go into remission, you can reverse it. And as soon as I heard that word reverse, that was my goal. And I worked as hard as I could to get to that goal, and I did it.
That's so incredible. I think it's a very small percentage of people who probably ever achieve that remission. It's something incredibly difficult to do. So it's very incredible you've been able to stay on track. On that note, what do you think has helped you stay on track the most? Like, what's been like one of the biggest motivators, and at the same time, what's been the most difficult? Like, what's been the most trying for you?
My family has been the biggest motivator, because all the small things they always praised me for. When I was first diagnosed, I had an A1C of an 11.9, and that's really, really high. And then as I worked harder, like, they were more supportive. My friends have all been supportive, but to be completely honest, you guys here made the biggest difference for me, because for a while I was doing okay, but then at that point I started making those excuses of, oh, I can take a walk tomorrow, or, oh, I can do that 15-minute YouTube workout another day and I'll be fine. But coming here made it fun, but also made it more motivational, and then also kind of gave me an obligation to almost do it, because I'm coming here and I'm using your time, so I need to actually put in the work to do what I need to do. That's
so perfect, and it's just so incredible for us to hear you and a few other people that have really they've done something incredible. It's something a very small amount of people do, and hearing a story like yours, that you've achieved diabetic remission and just all the changes you've made. And we've seen you go from coming into the class and doing some very specific exercises to dropping down and doing burpees and all kinds of crazy stuff, and almost doing a double every day. So yeah, it's so rewarding to be able to see, and that makes it so worth it for us. And we're just so happy to have been able to be part of that journey with you. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So speaking of changes that you've made, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen and felt? I mean, obviously the large amount of weight loss is very obvious, but maybe get into some things that you've noticed yourself in particular that maybe other people wouldn't notice, just the way you feel. Or
the tiredness. I don't feel tired anymore. Before I started losing weight and watching what I eat and everything, I could go home and take like a 3-hour nap, wake up for a couple hours and go right back to bed, no problem. Sleeping is a lot easier now. I actually get better sleep than I was before. But I think the biggest change is the energy. Working with 14 3-year-olds in a classroom, you need the energy. And before, like, sometimes I would feel like it'd be difficult to make it through the day. And now I'm just whizzing around the playground with all them, chasing them, and they're having a blast. Or before it was like, Miss Kelsey can't right now, maybe in a minute. And then I never did it, and now I can do it.
So you're hearing that from other people, like family members and coworkers and stuff too? Do they notice a change?
Oh, definitely. There's quite a few people that ask me if I'm losing weight, and they're always like, we don't like to ask. I'm like, no, please tell me that I'm looking good, because sometimes you look in the mirror and you don't see it where other people do see it. Sometimes it takes me looking at a picture from before to really start to see the changes in myself, when I don't necessarily see them every day like everybody else does.
That's such a good point. And I always like to ask people and recommend that you do take pictures, because you're looking at yourself every day, especially when you're on, this path and you're dedicated, because it's something very difficult to do. So you're looking for any little piece that's going to give you motivation or show results. So you don't necessarily see it right away, because you're nitpicking yourself every day. Mm-hmm. But those people who haven't seen you, like, that is a big boost of energy when you get to see, you take a look at a picture from the past or somebody you haven't seen in a long time, and they notice right away. And I tell you, we notice it. Like I said, just the activity, obviously appearance, everything. It's been incredible to see this whole journey so far. And obviously, you still have a lot that you want to do as well. And every step of the way just must be so much more motivation for you.
It definitely is.
What have your doctors said when you've gone for checkups?
My one doctor told me that I should be the poster child for diabetes. I was able, and this isn't common, so my A1C was an 11.9 last December of 2020.
Can you explain what the A1C is?
So your A1C is basically your blood sugar level for a certain amount of time, and every 3 months in the beginning, and depending on what your diabetes level is, you have your A1C checked, and it kind of shows where your sugar levels are at, and a normal A1C is below a 5.6. And mine was an 11.9, so very drastically high, and then slowly it came down, and then this last time that I had it checked, I was at a 5.5, so I am now in the normal range, and that put me in diabetic remission.
It's really, truly amazing, and I don't think enough people know quite how hard it is, but worth it is, and rewarding it is to be able to achieve that. Not only for the fact that you're becoming so much healthier, you feel better, but really just also for the mental factor that like not a lot of people can do this, and you did it.
Yep.
And you're doing it.
Yep.
So if you can accomplish this, I mean, really, it's really a microcosm of everything that you can do in life. It really comes down to you have to hold yourself accountable, put in the work, and you can't lie to yourself.
At all.
I just want to applaud you again for doing so well. And I was wondering if you could share just maybe some advice that you have for anybody who is struggling, trying to get going. You mentioned in the beginning that you tried a couple times, like, kind of halfway tried. So is there anything that you would say to somebody who is struggling to just get traction and get going?
A lot of it is, I kind of had to do a little bit of research, and I wouldn't say like research on working out and exercise, but I started doing a lot of research on foods, because being diabetic, you really have to be careful what you eat, how much you eat, when you eat. So that was the biggest thing, and not just understanding what foods were good for me, but the foods that worked for my body, because what I eat every day is not what someone else can eat every day or what they should eat every day. And then just the mental factor of it. You have to get over the mental factor of it. For the first 3 months, I was religiously checking my blood sugar 6 times a day. And that wasn't good, because whatever I ate, if it spiked it, I freaked out. Does that mean I can't have my potato at dinner because my sugar was high and I don't want it to spike again? And then stepping on a scale for a long time, I was stepping on a scale every single morning. And then just the small fluctuations messes with your head. So it took me a long time to understand food and the exercise and my body, because everyone's body does things differently. What I might weigh 1 month is not what I'm going to weigh in the next month. It could go up, it could go down. It depends on everything. Everything is a factor in it, and it's just, you just gotta do it. It's not easy. I quit a lot of things cold turkey. I was sick a lot because of the medication changes. So finding things that are joyful makes it easier too. That's why I love coming here, because I don't feel like I'm walking into a gym full of machines. And that was the biggest apprehension. You walk into a gym and that's the first thing you think of is, I don't know how to use that. So you go to a treadmill. I don't want to be that person that steps on a treadmill. So when the challenge came along, I was really apprehensive, and then I tried it, and this is not like going into a gym. This is like coming into something that's fun and enjoyable, but you're still moving and working your body, and it's only for 45 minutes. Everyone can spare 45 minutes.
That's so awesome, and thank you for that. It's definitely something that we like to, that's what we try to push here. It's really for anybody, and we try to make it fun. We try to give, a different range of movements and exercises every single day you're coming in, and adapt it to each person individually. As you said, everybody's different, so different things are going to work for you. On that note, too, that's something that we try to stress. When you were talking, it reminds me of some advice I give is some people think that you need to be given one set plan, and you're going to follow that, and that's going to work. And I like to say you're like a science experiment. Right?
You really are, yeah.
Variables. You got to messing with those variables until you get the results. So you can't get caught up in this whole world of, oh my gosh, I gained 4 and then be in a bad mood all day, Like you're collecting your data and you're working towards a goal. And if you do that diligently and you stay on it, you're going to get results eventually. And that's just being dedicated. So once again, I'd really like to thank you for coming in and sharing that story. I think it's very inspirational. You've done something a lot of people have not been able to do. And I hope that this message reaches some other people just to show that you can do it. And if you stick to it, it's okay. If you fail here and there, it's okay. If things aren't happening very quickly or you don't quite know what's going on, you just got to stick with it. You'll figure it out, and you can achieve a healthier lifestyle, a more active lifestyle, and be overall happier. And that's really what we all see here is we see a happier Kelsey, and it's fun when you walk through the door every time. We really appreciate all that you've said here today and just taking the time to be with us here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Hi, my name's Jesse Buck. I'm here at Journey Fitness in Sayre. I'm super excited to have Dr. Andy Wales with us here today. He's been a Journey Fitness member for longer than I've been here. He's going to tell us all about his journey and some amazing accomplishments that he's been able to achieve over his time here and since the beginning of his journey. I can't wait to dig into this and let all you hear this incredible story. So, Andy, welcome. Thank you for being here for us to talk to tonight. If you would, just let everybody know a little bit about yourself and a little bit of background.
My name's Andy Wales. I'm an art teacher. I've been a teacher 35 years and really enjoy coming to Journey, I guess.
That's awesome. How did you first hear about Journey?
So I had seen a flyer in our faculty lounge, and there was some kind of back to school challenge, and I was feeling like I really needed to do something, and so I looked at that, and it was a month away, and I said to Tim, I don't want to wait a month. I want to do this. So he happened to have, you guys will do a pay it forward month. Mm-hmm. So if someone meets a significant goal, they'll get a month that they can give away. So he gave me a free month, and that's what got me started here.
That's awesome. So is Tim Brown you're talking about?
Tim, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you were saying you got to a point where you were feeling like you really needed to do something. So what was life like, and what kind of inspired you to start?
Well, teaching is a sedentary lifestyle, mm-hmm. but it is exhausting. So it's hard to find your routine that allows for, that full day of where you just come home wiped out, and then, after school you don't often feel like going for a jog or, So it was difficult, but I would try, and I would make some progress, mostly just being on my own. So I might lose 20 pounds, I might gain 10 pounds back. So it was frustrating. It was like a yo-yo, making some progress, losing ground.
Not a ton of direction for anything.
Right, not much help, yeah.
Just trying to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. So.
Yep.
But then we got you in here, and when you first came to Journey, what was your initial thoughts? Because it's a little bit different.
It's very different. So I walked in expecting to find weight machines and treadmills, and looking and, where is everything? But it's not that kind of gym. So at first it felt awkward to do this kind of group training, but it was obviously very high intensity and strenuous. At first I couldn't really finish the workouts, but I figured, if I just keep moving, that's better than being at home. You know? So maybe I'm not doing push-ups the way they are, but at least I'm doing something. It's a great environment and culture. No one judges you, when you struggle, and there's a lot of encouragement and a lot of fun.
That's one of my favorite things. That I've said it before, but everybody's in here working towards the same goals. Mm-hmm. And I think it's kind of when you come in with the type of people that we have here, it's almost more encouraging. Mm-hmm. You kind of want to come because your friends are going to be here doing it, and that just helps motivate you even more.
It does.
You should just let everybody know, what was your weight at before you started?
Well, the highest it ever was 255, I think. But I had lost some and gained some. I was down to about 243 when I came, and I've lost 60 pounds. I lost 60 pounds in about a year, so it was about, a little more than a pound a week.
Yeah.
But a big motivator was I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I really wanted to do something to make that better, and I don't have diabetes anymore.
That's such an incredible accomplishment. It's got to be very rare that people actually not only just enter remission, but now, like you said, you no longer have diabetes. You beat it.
We're still keeping an eye on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen, I didn't see you when you started, but since I've come, I've even noticed you had already dropped a bunch of weight, but athletic ability has been crazy. And you run here, you do 2 workouts, you run home. Did you ever think you would be doing anything like that?
No.
Competing in DECA events?
So that was one of your questions, was what was I hoping for, I think. So I thought, well, it'd be nice to lose 20 pounds.
Right.
So that was easier than I thought, and I said, well, maybe 10 more, so, and then that wasn't too hard. And Travis had, well, what's your final goal? Like, what's your ultimate goal? I said, well, 50 is a good round number. And he always he'll say once in a while, let me know if you want to sit down with me, and I'll tell you how you can fast track your goals. And so I said, well, I want to do that. Tell me how I can do that. So I've learned so much about nutrition compared to what I knew before, eating right, and but weight loss is not a mystery.
Right.
It's not magic. It's math.
Yeah.
And it's science. So you have a certain amount of calories that you're going to burn a day, your resting metabolic rate. And if you consume less than that number, and if you burn some in exercise, you will lose weight. It will happen.
I'm so happy you said that.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is, not all calories are created equal. Some are better. They're definitely better, and some are going to make it harder for you to lose weight.
I'm really happy you put it that way, because that is such a big piece, and I think it's so important for people to understand. I think a lot of people are looking for quick fix or a magic pill, and what a lot of times you don't want to hear at first is that it's going to take hard work and dedication over a long period of time.
Yeah.
The answer is simple, but the path is difficult.
Right.
So one of the things I was going to ask is, how difficult has it been for you so far? Would you say it's more difficult than you thought? Would you say it's easier than you thought?
It was very difficult at first, and it's gotten easier. And I would say right now it just doesn't seem that difficult.
It's kind of probably become, it's your routine. It's fun now.
It's fun. I can't wait to get here, and I feel so great. I want to keep living this way. It's not a temporary thing. I like my life the way it is now.
That's amazing. I mean, because that's the goal. The goal is not to just shoot down to a number and then that's it.
Right.
It's to start living your life that way. So I think you start to realize that and start to feel that more as you progress and get close to your goals.
So one thing I've learned is the number on the scale is only one number.
Right.
And there are one thing that you guys, well, here's another number. My A1C went from 8.2 to now 5.9. That's an important number.
That's amazing.
But so one of the things you guys do at Journey is every 6 weeks you take measurements so I can see how many inches I've lost over, that 6 weeks. Or so it's not what percentage of your body is fat and which percentage is muscle. That body mass index lets you know, well, that's looking great, Right. And there are times when I weigh in and maybe I'm 5 pounds more, but I can tell that it was 4 pounds of muscle.
Right.
Or another time it was well, I lost 4 pounds of fat but gained 3 pounds of muscle. So it looks like I just lost a pound, but that's really good progress when you have more muscle, less fat.
You're changing your composition, yeah.
Your body works better, and my metabolism is changing, and everything's working better.
So what's something or just maybe a multitude of things, what has helped you stay on track the most?
Well, one thing is that one of the first times I came here, I saw there's a quote on the TV that comes up. Just statistically, people who keep a food journal lose twice as much weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so, once again, it's not magic, it's not math. If you keep track of what you're eating, you'll do better, because it's too easy to lie to yourself.
So easy.
Well, they're just mini muffins,
Right.
It can't be that much. But if you track it, it's hard. I guess that is the thing that's difficult now. Is this, it is time consuming, but I try to do it, and I do better when I do it. So it's a good habit to get into.
I'm sure that since you've been tracking it, even if there's times where maybe you're not entering every little thing, you're more cognizant of it.
I am still eating. I'm kind of got so I eat the same thing, for breakfast. So, I kind of know what I'm doing.
You've created a healthier relationship with food.
Yeah.
And so maybe you don't have to track 100% of the time anymore, but now, like I said, you're more cognizant of what you're eating. So even on days where maybe you would have gone off a little bit, that would have just been a normal day before, or maybe even worse before, and now you can keep it in check.
And we have an app that we use, and a coach will check in with you and say, well, you might want to watch this or that, or Cindy will say, what in the world is a Blue Bunny peanut butter party? It's an ice cream flavor,
There you go.
But no, it's to have people who are, giving you advice. And I know one thing I asked Jordan, okay, everybody tells you what not to eat. Tell me what I can eat. So he gave me some great recipe ideas, and so it helps to have guidance and advice and support.
That's perfect. One thing I remember when I was doing a bit of a transformation myself, and I was at a point actually where I was struggling a little bit, and I just thought to myself kind of along the same way. I was like, I'm willing to do whatever it is. Just tell me what it is I need to do so that I can get there. And that's what I like to feel like we give people here.
Right.
People who are willing to put in the work, and they desperately want to see the change.
Yeah.
And they just need somebody to help them along the way, to tell them what to do and what to eat, and help give them motivation in hard times.
And it changes your attitude towards food. I have a new mindset. Just American culture, like we treat food as comfort, or to reward, or almost like a drug sometimes.
Right.
But if we think of food as fuel. And I look forward to my scrambled egg whites in the morning with spinach and mushrooms, and it's tasty. But I'm thinking of it as fuel, and not just
100%.
Yeah.
I think another important thing to go along with that is something I've noticed. You've probably noticed it as well. Is when you start to eat these healthier foods, your taste kind of changes to where those things do taste better. You start to crave those things. I remember for me, people would always talk about fruit as a dessert or something. I would never think of it as a dessert. I'm like, that's not dessert. Oreos are dessert. Cheesecake's dessert. But when I started eating healthy, and I would have I would start craving that as my dessert. Healthier foods, like a fruit or something. And that egg white omelet, all of a sudden, that becomes one of the tasty things you look forward to. So that's something else I think people don't realize will change for them, is they'll start to crave those foods as well.
Yeah, so certain carbs are especially bad, and it seems like they're everywhere. Bread, noodles, and you go to a restaurant and they offer you bottomless fries. Like, we don't really need that, and so I guess I'd give me the broccoli instead, and so one day I said, well, I'll just eat one of Nate's, and I was like, ugh. Yeah, they don't taste good anymore, so your tastes do change, and that's good.
Absolutely. You bring up Nate a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one other thing I was going to mention, it's probably helped you stay on track, maybe made it more fun as you've been able to bring your family along, and your whole family has been really just a staple crew here at Journey, and we've seen them progress and make a ton of changes as well.
Yeah.
Has that been a big...
Oh, yeah. So it helps that we're all doing this together and we're all trying to eat right. You don't have one person in the house, that's, bringing in a cheesecake,
Right.
So we're all enjoying this journey together, and we have a blast here as a family, and Nate has gained... We didn't want him to lose. That was one thing we said. We do not want you to think you have to lose. He's not. He wasn't that big ever. But he has gained 14 pounds of muscle since he's been here.
Oh, yeah. I see him doing all kinds of exercises now. I love, especially when Nate comes in, he just brings up the energy, I tell you.
Yeah. Well, you said what's difficult? Well, the difficult thing is we keep getting too skinny for our clothes.
Oh,
So
there you go.
Kristen, well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But Kristen will say, "Oh, now I've got my whole wardrobe again is too big," and so. But that's a good problem to have.
We've already hit a couple of these, but if you could think of anything else, I was going to ask you, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen or felt in your life?
Well, yeah. So, the weight loss, I feel so much younger. I mean, if you think about it, I was carrying around 60 extra pounds. That was with me all day, every day. So, I mean, I just feel incredibly energetic, and I just feel great.
Diabetes free.
Yeah.
The weight loss, you notice like a difference, like emotionally? A lot of people say like they were depressed and...
Well, I wasn't depressed, but I mean, they say, your body produces these feel-good hormones. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin. I feel good.
That's awesome.
It's like a dose.
Right.
I
Exactly.
feel really good.
Well, you come in and you're here for the 4:15 and 5:15 pretty much every day. And you start the day off right away. You've gotten something tough out of the way. You've already, I always say, like, you already put one in the win column for the day.
Yeah.
And you go the rest of the day knowing you made yourself better.
Yeah.
Well, you said something the other day about working out in the morning.
Yeah.
I was talking about looking
It's
back.
hard to cancel a workout that's already happened.
I like that quote a lot.
So, but no, you would think I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do 2 workouts, but I have more energy all day than I ever did before. So, something about it, yeah.
Well, how long have you been coming to Journey again?
I think about a year and a half. Yeah, about a year and a half.
Okay. So it wasn't too long before we came in that you were here. So, no, that's amazing. What would be your advice to anybody looking to start their weight loss journey, whether it be at Journey or...
I would say you got to start somewhere, and start just by moving. I mean, start by doing something. Like they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. I mean, and it's like Todd Durkin says, muscle is magic and motion is lotion. So you move. I mean, even if you got a bad knee or something, move what parts you can move, and the rest of it will start to feel better. And I know if someone comes here, if you guys, if you know somebody's got a knee issue, you will give them an alternate activity, that they can do instead. So I wouldn't let something. Everybody's got to find what works for them, but this has really worked for me, and I love it.
That's great. We've been so happy to be a part of your journey, of your family's journey, and really to become friends with all you guys. We've enjoyed every bit of it, and we just look forward to every time you come in. You've been a great friend. You're an incredible member here at Journey. I know you inspire a lot of people. I think your story here is going to inspire a lot of people as well.
Everybody inspires me too, and we do have fun. It gets crazy.
Oh yeah, we like to get a little goofy. We like to get a little crazy.
But we have a lot of laughs and sing-alongs and stuff.
Oh yeah, yep. Hey, if you feel like you're having fun, you don't realize you're working out.
That's right.
That's always a good combo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to thank you again for coming in and taking the time to talk to us. I really think it's going to be great for people to hear.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you guys. I mean, I couldn't have done what I've done without you, and I really am grateful. All the coaches here and the members, we push each other, encourage one another, and celebrate milestones, and probably added some years to my life. So I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, Overcomer Nation. Make sure if you haven't already, give us a 5-star rating. Make sure that you share this and subscribe so you can see all of our future content.
That's right. And if you'd like to be a guest on a future show, go to overcomers-podcast.com. If you're interested in our franchise opportunities with Journey 333, then go to www.journeyfitness333.com. And finally, if you like what you heard today and you feel like you're somebody that needs a bit more coaching, go to travisbarnes.com.